everyone. Good morning. You are slightly better than my Zoom audience. Good job. Okay, so my name is Fabian Lim. I'm the founder of FlightSim.com, and I'm here to share with you some of our hard work, our solutions, and the whole ideas to help make flight simulation a lot more fun, a lot more realistic, and with higher fidelity. This is my resume. It cost me $3 million to become a licensed pilot, out of which 2.6 was a total waste of money buying a single pilot jet. Never do that. The virtual jets are so much more inexpensive. I learned that the hard way. Thankfully, my resume didn't come in, it came in very handy because I was able to translate my real world experience, not the financial side of it all, which was not very exciting, but the flying experience and journey. And this is my global resume, having flown my jet from Chicago to Singapore, traveled extensively in the region and back to Chicago. This is just to prove that we didn't take a photo at the air show. This was a real flight. And this is a very remote location called Greenland, Narsarsuaq. Yes, the same place that Trump wants to take over. So let me share with you a little bit about FlightSim.com. So you understand our positioning as a whole. We are big on fidelity, and obviously fidelity basically has different definitions to different people. We totally understand that many people look at price value. And so our target here is generally the serious flight simulation enthusiasts. I know this is going to insult some of you. The segment is probably more prosumer, which is really the student pilot, someone who is already investing in aviation. So if you're a home cockpit builder, for example, you fly, you have a pilot's license, or if you're in academia. So we see a great opportunity to add innovation, not just to flight schools, but to high schools, for example. As you know, there's STEM training going on all over the world, science, technology, engineering, math, and we want to contribute our solutions into the field of these studies. Our milestone in 2025 is to get our units FAA certified at the BATD, the Basic Aviation Training Device, and the Advanced Aviation Training Device levels. And this should be done by June 2025. A very quick overview of our solutions. Our first launch was our force feedback yoke that comes in two variants, the CLS 60 at 60 newtons and 120 newtons as well. They are exactly the same in terms of structure. And the reason for that is so that it's upgradable. 60 Newton customer can choose to upgrade with a heavier model without having to buy a completely new unit. Everything else you can read over here. It's quite wordy, but essentially we wanted to basically model our first yoke design after a full-size Cessna, which we measured, where the pitch length was 165 mm, and 60 Newton was actually the actual weight of the elevator before engine start on a Cessna 172. So for every product that we design, you will see that we do our best to design it to be modular. For example, our yoke handle is designed to be interchangeable, the motor upgradable, and as long as it's possible engineering-wise, we will do that. And all our products are backed by a 1-year warranty. Pricing-wise, it's currently at $899 and $1,299. This is, of course, without regard to Trump's tariffs, which is of no fault to us. For those more serious aviators, again, generally the student pilots or the actual pilots who want to use simulation for recurrent training or currency training, we call this. We have the FC50, which incorporates our yoke. So our yoke fits both the CLS 60 and 120 fit the FC50 through that little hole over there. And in terms of modularity, the throttle quadrant is interchangeable. The FC100, a slightly larger unit, is designed for twin engine, and it comes with additional rudder trims, aileron trims, a trim wheel, circuit breakers, and again, interchangeable throttle quadrants. You can go to our website, actually, FlightSim.com, to look at all the specifications. Pricing-wise, the FC50 goes for about 2,000 USD, and FC100 goes about 3,000 USD. Pretty cheap, right? Especially if you sell your house. We have the G1000, and we have officially launched this. We are quite proud of it. Now, of course, there are other manufacturers as well for G1000, but as they say, not all G1000 feels the same, and you really have to feel the tactile feel of the buttons, the knobs, and the switches to appreciate or differentiate, I would say. For now, our G1000 goes for 3,000 USD, and it comes with an optional console which fits the FC50 or FC100, making it a complete system. Now, when it comes to force feedback technology, I must say that 50% of the magic actually comes on the software side, not just the hardware. And for that, I'm totally appreciative of our community of right now close to 900 members. I mean, these people are awesome. If you're in the crowd, thank you for being so critical and having high standards. So they have largely shaped our software to this point. And so we do take feedback very, very seriously. And in fact, this is a result of one of our customers commenting. And he complained that, opening up the software and clicking three buttons, one to connect the SIM, another to connect the hardware, and the third to connect the effects, as tiring. We took his feedback very seriously. But thanks to him, right now our software, which looks like this, requires 0 clicks. The moment you load it up, it will auto-detect the simulation of choice. And talking about that, we are compatible with MSFS 2024, 2020, X-Plane 1112 prepared, and next month we're going to be compatible with DCS. So 0 clicks to auto-detect simulator, all devices, and we also have an autopilot state that you can see on the top right-hand side. So when your hardware is connected to the autopilot, it will turn green to let you know that the autopilot is actually controlling the force feedback yoke. So it does move with the autopilot command itself. This is the interface. And again, we redesigned the interface from the ground up because we had fussy customers who were just unimpressed with our version 1. We took it seriously and they are complaining less. So, like all manufacturers, we have to keep pushing the boundaries. And here, I'm here to introduce some new products. The one that is, I guess, most significant to our yoke owners is the rudder pedals. That's a missing link to our entire system. And happy to say that we have our commercial prototype available at FlightSimWeekend at our booth. And you can come and take a look. Not take a look, feel it. Yeah, okay. Wait, take a look is here. You have to feel it to appreciate the impact of force feedback rudders on your flight simulation experiences, especially if you're flying twin engine and you lose an engine. I guarantee you it will be a complete gym workout on a leg of your choice, left or right. Why? Because it's up to 370 newtons And being a tight deadline project, we use double-sided tape to affix it to the floor because of lack of engineering capabilities at that end. And it has proven, the double-sided tape has proven to hold up to 200 newtons. At 300 newtons, it just gives up. Yeah. It comes with effects. You can see the whole range of rudder pedal effects. And the difference between the yoke and the rudder pedals, that we added one extra called the engine thrust, which is really to have a lot of fun. When you lose an engine, the rudder pedals will simulate a much heavier force on the opposite side of the engine. And also we added an effect known as P factor. Those of you who fly single engine aircraft, you know that as you increase your throttle on the ground, you will need to add in right rudder, and we'll simulate that using our software. Everything else is similar to our yoke, with the notable feature called interchangeable aircraft and heli pedals. This is crucial. So we now know that a lot of airplane pilots also like to dabble in helicopters. You particularly, yes. So in the final production version of this rudder pedals, what's going to happen is that you're going to be able to remove this toe brake plates and insert just the helicopter portion of it. And you'll be able to disable centering so that you can now use this rudder pedals as your anti-torque pedals in a helicopter. You're welcome. So pricing-wise, I can tell that we're not here to compare against any competitor, but we are less than half the price of a similar unit, which is 380 newtons by a very respectable company. And pre-orders start tomorrow on our website. Sorry for trying to sell to you. Okay. Then all we need to do right now is to assemble all our various components and put it into a package that will meet or exceed the FAA standards. And this is our BATD. So it's basically the pedals and yoke over here, the FC50 flight control, the G1000 with the casing, a single engine aircraft model of your choice, in this case a Cessna 172 or the Piper Warrior, Windows 11 PC because it's part of the BATD requirement, X-Plane Professional, and an optional table that starts at 55 centimeters, which is really the right height. Most tables are at 70, and if your arm is less than 90 degrees, then your table is too high. And most people fly, unfortunately, with tables that are too high, ergonomically incorrect. Now, force feedback stick base has taken a slight backseat because we have quite aggressive competitors out there launching products like this, and we want to be able to add value and not just duplicate the market itself with its price or specifications. So we are taking this back probably about 2 months to finally launch. The idea here is that we already have a prototype unit, as you can see. Everyone does this, right? It moves to prove that it's not static. We are looking at the specs of a dual model, 12 to 15 Newton meter, because we really have one at the lower end. And we're doing our best to be able to upgrade it to 25 Newton meters. And why is this important? Because we will need at least 25 Newton meters if you're going to use the same base to fly a helicopter. As you know, helicopters have cyclics, and cyclics are levers essentially. And you need 3 times the amount of force to fly a helicopter. Pricing, I cannot tell you right now because we have no idea as well. I wish I could tell you, I don't. So we would say it's going to be competitively priced for sure. Available in Q3 2025, if all goes well. And as a finale, I want to share with you a new software feature that I think would revolutionize remote flight training, otherwise known as the shared cockpit scenario. As you know, today you can already fly in a shared cockpit scenario, which means you're remote, not next to each other, and use a software and configure a 737 or an Airbus, for example, or even a Cessna. What has been missing is the actual feedback of the yoke and the rudder pedals. So, you can share switches and all these states, no problem. Would it be cool to have two people flying, one in Singapore, one in England, the same aircraft, and when the pilot is flying, the pilot monitoring yoke actually moves as well. That's just one application. I call this the remote yoke synchronization technology, and here's how it's going to work. Each of the force feedback yokes, whether it's 60 or the 120, has to be connected to the internet. And our software will give you an opportunity to key in an IP address. And what this will do is that it will lead to real-time linking of two or more force feedback yokes over the internet. Now, two or more is also very significant if you ask me, because we're really interested in helping the high schools of the world and increase the instructor-to-student ratio. So imagine that we have an instructor with one CLS-60 and 5 CLS-60 units in the school or within the school area. You now can have a student ratio of one instructor, one instructor to 10 students. And most importantly, the instructor can demonstrate maneuvers which will be felt on the student end due to yoke synchronization. So, benefits: more immersive, remote shared cockpit sessions for recreation, enhanced remote flight instruction fidelity for flight schools, or if you want to take lessons from instructors on the other side of the world, and of course, very realistic crew resource management flights, because both pilots can hand over control, my control, your control approach, and fly the same aircraft. And I think that's going to be something pretty cool. So again, the good news is no additional cost required. You just have to own a CLS-60 or CLS-120. And we plan to, in fact, demo this at FlightSim Expo 2025 in June. Other than that, if you're inspired by our mission, we are also on the lookout for global distributors all over the world, because we can't do this on our own. We want to tailor localized syllabuses at the high school level, at the university level, at the STEM level with our hardware. We want to incorporate AI as well, for sure, AI flight instruction, and so on and so forth. So this will be a large community effort. We have the hardware, we have the basic software available. We welcome your participation. And if you need to contact us, let's go to FlightSim.com. That's spelled FlightSim.com. If not, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, FlightSim Weekend, for hosting us. FSElite, as always, for interviewing us and sharing our ambitions and dreams to the fellow flight simmers all over the world. Thank you so much, everyone.